Now you might notice that this text here is bold. It shouldn't be bold. It should just be regular, normal width. So what we want to do is we want to make it normal weight. So to fix that, we do body h1 to apply style to every header in our body div, and we type in font-weight normal, and that should fix it. And there we go. Perfect. So now let's find another Google font in order to get our header the right font. So the font I use for this is called Engagement. So let's type that in. I forgot the second E. Okay, Engagement right here. So add to collection, use, copy the style sheet, paste it into our header, and take the line of CSS. Sorry, that's my portfolio site. And now we just paste that into the style of our body h1. And then it shows up. Perfect. So you might notice now that it is incredibly small in comparison to our original template. So what we want to do is we want to increase the font size just like we did with the navigation bar. So let's do maybe 40 pixels, see if that's too big. No, it looks the same. Let's make it 50 pixels then. Let's bump it all the way up to 100, see how that looks. That actually looks alright compared to our original. So let's keep it that way. Now you might notice that this is centered and this is not centered. So in order to make this centered, we have to add a CSS property called text align center. Let's do text-align center. And there we go. Now it's centered. So the last thing we want to work on for this template is we want to, for one, make this the right font, and then we want to make it the correct width, and then we want to make the line spacing the right amount. So let's do that. So what we want to first do is we want to add new style for the body P, the body paragraph. We'll save our document along the way. First of all, it is too wide compared to this. This is only about, I don't know, maybe 60%, 60 to 70% of our entire width. While this is the entire width of our document. So what we want to do is we want to set the width of the P to maybe 60 or 70%. Let's do 70, see how that looks. And there we go. Now, there's another problem. This text isn't centered either. Now you might just think that we should do text align center, but let's see how that would look. Let's see exactly how that would look. That doesn't actually move it to the center, it just makes the text centered, which we do not want. We actually want it to be aligned to the left, but we want the text box to be moved to the center. So in order to move the text box to the center, what we have to do is we have to do something called margin 0 auto, which basically centers horizontally. So let's type in margin 0 auto. I'm not entirely sure why this CSS works to center things, but it does. So just type in margin 0 auto, and you should see that your text is centered. Perfect. So now what we want to do is we want to change the font family to make it sans serif instead of serif. So font-family sans serif. That'll just change to your generic Helvetica, Arial type of font. So now what we want to do is we want to adjust the line spacing. You can see that the lines are much more spaced out than these lines, so we want to adjust that with a property called line height with CSS. So go back into the body P style, type in line height, and now we want to type in a random number of pixels between each line. And then we just reload the, oh, that is too close together. Let's try like 30 or something. And that looks pretty good, so that's good. Now, last but not least, there is too much space in between the word welcome and our body paragraphs. What we want to do is we want to change the margin of our body paragraph, our top margin actually, to move it up. Now the margin is set at 0, but we want to move it up, not down. So what we have to do is we have to make the margin top a negative value. Let's set it to a random negative value like, I don't know, negative 40 pixels. And I don't think that's enough, so let's change it to maybe 60. Alright, that looks pretty good. So now we are done with our building in generic HTML and CSS. We've gone from this to this, and in the next video I'm going to teach you how to convert it to WordPress